Alright, I'm going to be doing something a little different than my normal Monster Train content, and I'm going to be solving a Sudoku. And I'm using an interesting rule set. I'm not an expert Sudoku solver, but I stumbled across something called the Miracle Sudoku by cracking the cryptic. I thought that was a really cool concept. Basically, it uses some additional restrictions, and because of that, you can start off with very few numbers. And I solved that one, and my brother actually saw those and wanted to make his own version of it, and I thought that was kind of cool. I'm not an expert Sudoku solver or anything, but I thought I'd give this a go, and he said it should be pretty approachable. So I'm just gonna go over some of the additional rules here, and I'm gonna link the puzzle in the description if you wanted to try it yourself. So I'm gonna just put in a fake number here. So normal Sudoku rules says that nothing in the row or column could be a 4. There has to be a 4 in every row and column in every box. So by normal rules, none of these could be a 4. Additional rules say that it can't be a knight. The same number can't be a king's move away from each other. So these diagonals cannot be a 4 as well. Obviously, these can't either, but that's normal Sudoku rules. And then finally, for that, they can't be a knight's move away. So that means like here couldn't be a 4, here couldn't be a 4, here and here. And then the third and final restriction is that consecutive numbers can't be next to each other. So here couldn't be a 4 because that's a 3. Here couldn't be 4 because that's a 5. So with that, apologies in advance for missing any sort of obvious conventions. I'm not an expert or anything. I'm just going to reset and give it a go live. So clear this, reset, and I'm going to look at the 5s. They seem like they're the most restricted. So by normal Sudoku rules, none of these could be 5s. And then by knight's move, that can't be a 5, which leaves only one space. This is going to open up a lot more. Knight's move means those can't be 5s. King's move and knight's move means those can't be 5s. So 5s have to be on the top in this series. Knight's move says that can't be a 5. Sodoku says that can't be a 5. This is the only spot where a 5 can go in this row. And row 5 has to go on top here, so it can't go on the top there. Knight, this is a king's move away, so this has to be a 5. Then this, oops, none of these can be 5s just by Sudoku. So because this is a knight's move from that and a Sodoku here, that can't be a 5. Same thing here. And then this. Oh, Sodoku says 5 can't be in this column. So now this is restricted. This sees all of them by king's move. This sees all of them by kings or knights. So the only spot left for a 5 is here in that column. And that restricts all of these. So that leaves only one spot left for a 5 here. That leaves one spot left for a 5 there. And this is the only 5 remaining. So I've solved the 5s. And that should leave a lot of room for 4s. So the only information I have on 4s is that they can't be next to any of the numbers I've solved except for the 1 there. So let's just start by blocking off all of those. Since all of these are consecutive with 4, they are they can't be a 4. Okay. There's a little, okay, so here the 4 has to go in the bottom row, so that means it can't go in the bottom row in any of those. This sees it by kings or knights, so I've actually narrowed it down. This has to be a 4, which means that none of these can be 4s. This sees both of those squares by Sodoku and by knight, so this cannot be a 4. This sees both of them. This sees both of them. This sees both of them. This sees both of them by Sodoku and by knight, so this has to be a 4, which eliminates this, so this has to be a 4, which eliminates all of these. That means 4 has to be in the right here, which means it can't be in the right there. So this is a 4. Excuse me. So this eliminates everything by Sodoku and by king. So this has to be a 4. Eliminates this row. Then this eliminates this row. And by knight's move, it eliminates this one, which means the 4 has to be in the leftmost column, which means it can't be there. Alright, so I've narrowed down 4s quite a bit. Oh yeah, actually even more. So this can't be a 4 because of Sodoku rules. So this is a 4. This is a 4. And this can't be a 4 because then there would be nowhere for a 4 to go here. So this is a 4, and this is a 4. So we've solved the 4s. And I think the only obvious, or the obvious next place to go is 3s, because I do have a 3 and a 1, which means the 2s will be easier to figure out later. So let's just start by removing all the spots where 3s can be. By Sodoku rules, that would be all of these. And then kings and knights, which means a 3 has to be in the rightmost column, so it can't be in the rightmost column over here. Anything next to a 4 cannot be a 3, so it has to be in the middle here, which means it can't be in the middle here. This is next to a 4. This is next to a 4. This is next to a 4. And it's a knight's move from this 3. Both of these are next to a 4, so 3 has to be in the bottom over here, which means it can't be in the bottom over here, so this is a 3. This sees all the possibilities for a 3. Over here, this can't be a 3. These can't be 3s because they're next to a 4. This sees both possibilities, knight's move and Sodoku. Same thing here, the king's move and Sodoku for that one. So the only spot for a 3 to go on this row is this is here, so that eliminates this. These are all eliminated by being next to a 4, which leaves only one spot. So this can't be a 3, and these can't be 3s. None of these can be a 3 because of the 4, which leaves only one spot for a 3 here. And that eliminates all of these by kings and Sodoku. This can't be a 3 because it sees both of those, which leaves only one spot. This eliminates this whole, all of these, which leaves only one spot. It just means that's the 3 and that's the 3. So I've solved the 3s. 2 should be pretty restricted. Yeah, and that's an interesting thing about this puzzle type. It just gets easier as it goes. I mean, I'm sure it's the same for regular Sudoku, but it's just kind of satisfying to finish it off with so little information to start. So all of these, let's just start by restricting based on the threes. So pretty restricted already. So I'm just blocking off anything next to a 3 or a 2 or a 3 or a 1, or occupied. So I've already found a spot where it has to be. Oh, why did I block the 4s? That's dumb. Okay. So it has to be in the bottom over here, so it can't be in the bottom there. And then I've already, so because all 3 of these are next to a 3, and that's next to a 3, and then 2 has to be in the bottom here. That means this is the only spot for a 2 here, and that's gonna suspect lead to all the other 2s. Yeah, so nothing in here can be a 2. I guess it didn't immediately lead to it. Yeah, I'm actually not seeing anything obvious to restrict the 2s further. Interesting. I thought that would be enough, but it's not. So, like, I have every square marked, narrowed down to 2, though. 2 possibilities, which should restrict the 1s a lot. Hopefully that will lead back into the 2s. So let's try 1s out here. So let's just start off with the one I do have. So by knights and by Sodoku, none of these can be a 1, and then these are next to a 1. So 1 has to be on the bottom here, so it can't be on the bottom there, and that was next to a 2 anyway. This would be next to a 2, this would be next to a 2. This would be next to a 2. Okay. This would be next to all the possibilities for 1. This would be next to all the possibilities for 1. This would be next to all the possibilities for 1 in this bottom box. So here hits all the possibilities for 1 in this middle box by knights. Okay, so like these see each other, so like I've solved one of them if I've solved the other one, and I solve for 2 if I figure this out. But I'm not seeing anything obvious here. Oh, there we go. So this is next to a 2, that helps me. There we go. That's gonna lead to a lot of information. So this is the only spot for a 1, which means that can't be a 2, which means that this is a 2, which means that can't be a 2, this is a 2, that can't be a 2, this is a 2, that can't be a 2, this can't be a 2, and this is a 2, this is a 2, that can't be a 2. Okay, so I think I've solved all the 2's, right? 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. I should solve this one. This can't be a 2, so that's a 2. And that will help me with the 1's now, because I know none of these can be a 1. None of these can be a 1. I'm just, by knowing where the 2's are, I know where the 1's can't be. That's going to solve the 1's. Pretty sure. None of these can be a 1. This has to be a 1. By knight's move, that has to be the remaining 1. So this has to be a 1. This has to be a 1. That's a knight's move away. This has to be the 1. So I've solved the 1's. Yes. So I think the puzzle's going to get easier from here. We'll see. Because 6's are going to be highly restricted. Oops. So I know that this can't be a 6. Just find the 5's. I'm pretty visual. I'm sure you could do this without highlighting, but okay, so 6's have to be in the bottom here. And that leaves only one spot for a 6 here, one spot for a 6 here. Which leads to a lot of restrictions. This has to be a 6 because it's a knight's move away from the other 6. That leaves only one possibility for a 6 here. None of these can be 6's, so there's only one possibility for a 6 here. This can't be a 6, and that can't be a 6, so that has to be a 6. So there's only one possibility for a 6 here, because this blocks off the middle, this blocks off the top, and or I guess this could be a 6. I don't know why this can't. Oh, this blocks off the top, and this blocks off the middle. So this has to be a 6. And then that leaves only one spot for the middle box. And that might be all the 6's. No, here, this has to be the 6 because this blocks off this one. So the 6's are solved. And 7's are going to be easier. So let's see if I can do it without highlighting. So this can't be a 7, so this is a 7. Oop. This is a 7. Wait. Sorry. This can't be a 7. And this can't be a 7, so this is a 7. This can't be a 7, and this can't be a 7 because there's already a 7 here, and because this is next to a 6. So this is a 7, which leaves only one spot for a 7 here. This can't be a 7, which leaves only one spot for a 7 here. Knight's move removes this, or King's move removes that. Knight's move removes that, so this is a 7. So 7 is in one of these two, but that's the only spot for a 7 in the middle column because of these two 7s. This 7 blocks off both of these spaces, so this is the only space for a 7 remaining. So the 7 has to be in the top here because of these two, and there's only one space there. I feel like 7s have got to be solved. So these two 7s make it so this is the only remaining spot for a 7. And that's all the 7s. So now there's only 2 numbers left, which means I just need to find an empty space that is next to a 7. So here, that can't be an 8, so it has to be a 9, which means this is the 8, this is the 9, and I'm just going to follow along. This is an 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 8. There's a 9 here, so this is an 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9. Cool. Fun puzzle. I'm sure I could have done it easier, but I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy it too. I'm not sure if I'll do more of these, but I'll see you next time.